All right. Welcome back, folks. So this week we're back with another great topic. So this week is all about chewing, your dog's chewing, your puppy's chewing, and chew training, and how to kind of get them on a path to not chewing so much. How is Archie when it comes down to chewing and stuff?
He's been pretty good since
Hmm.
puppy because we always gave him like things to chew on, so he never
Yep.
really gnawed on things. When he's like super young, he would like gnaw on the corner of the coffee table, and that'd be his
Yep.
sign that I have to go out. And we're like, okay, that's when you have to go out, apparently. So super random. But luckily, I've heard so many horror stories. So luckily, he's
Hmm.
been eating drywall. He isn't eating like other random things, shoes, and all that stuff. So
Yep.
we've been kind of lucky with him. We tend to give him chew things and chew treats. Quite often, so he gets like that work there, I guess. But
Yeah.
thankfully, but I know
Yeah,
it's
it
hard.
sounds like you worked it out between trying to go through a bunch of toys, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
So I guess, do you know why Archie chews? Do you know anything about chew training or chewing in general?
I don't think I fully grasp, but I know he really enjoys it, especially obviously the treat aspect of it. But
Yep.
I mean, why do dogs chew in general?
So essentially, dogs chew because it's all about toning their jaw muscles, believe it or not. So they're not doing it to be funny or mischievous or something. It's all part of the process, not process. It's all part of, toning the jaw muscles and things like that. And so, for as a dog, it's something that so chewing for puppies is kind of like an individual thing, but it's something that's definitely hardwired in them,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really go away. But there is, so it's not like a phase or anything like that, but like with babies and things. So it's kind of something that's always going to be. And that's one mistake that people think is like, oh, they're a puppy, they'll go out of it. But one thing to understand is like it's hardwired in them. It's always going to be once
Okay.
they
So
once they're a puppy and once they get older. So I guess let me ask you this. Does Archie chew on different things as a puppy versus now that he's older?
mm, we
Not
switched
chew, but yep. Mhm.
we switched like chew treats basically. So
Yep.
when he was younger, he was doing like bully sticks, and then as he got older, and we did harder things. So we did like there's like the pet store sold like a block of wood they
Yep.
could chew on. So we tried that. We tried different things. Now
Yep.
he gets like a beef tendon, which is hard but is very like low in fat, and apparently it helps his teeth. So we give him that, and then there's like a turkey neck that works well. It's
Yep.
freeze dried, so that's easy for him
Hmm.
and seems to be okay with the system. So it's kind of one of those things where we kind of tested things out, talked to people, so I see what he worked with, what was
Yep.
best for him. But I guess that's another question too, right? Like, if they're gonna chew inevitably, what are good things for them to be chewing on, type of thing.
Yeah. So Archie, I know my dog. So I go with that first. You know your dog. And so there's different things they can chew on. So the edible things they can chew on, they can chew on bones, like Scott was saying. Pig ears is another popular one.
Yeah.
Bully sticks and greenies and rawhides. All these are like edible things that eventually, once they chew on them enough, is going to kind of dwindle down. The non-edible stuff, because sometimes dogs just want to, and I talk about this a lot with my clients, is that if your dog or puppy is chewing on things, try to simulate what they're chewing on, because that's obviously what they love. So for instance, if they're chewing like on a couch, like throw pillow, you want to get them like a stuffed toy. If they're chewing like your windowsill or end of the bed or end of like a wooden chair, you want to get them something like a bully stick or something like that. Always try to simulate the texture of what your dog is trying to chew on, because that's helpful as well. Also, another thing they can chew on, like I said, plush toys, rope toys is another good one. As far as puzzle toys, those are always good. Stuffed Kongs, stuffed marrow, dogs love those.
Yeah.
And the tricky treat balls, even though they don't really chew on those, they have to work to get the treats out, and essentially they are going to be chewing when it comes down to that. But again, you want to experiment, which what your dog loves, and kind of do what Scott did. Just get a bunch of things, rotate it out, and just see which ones your dog's is really like sitting there chewing hard on, and that works as well. And another one too, ice cubes are always good too.
Ice cubes are
Edible,
awesome.
the
Yeah.
crunch on and soothe the
Especially
teeth.
on a hot day, if they come in hot. I find
Yep.
Archie won't drink it. If he won't drink water, he'll be like,
Mhm.
you give an ice cube, he'll just crunch on it, crunch, 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 and then that'll help to cool him down, bring his temperature down. So
Exactly. So it's used both ways to cool him down and to help for chewing and stuff.
exactly. So I
Have you
mean,
did
go
any
ahead.
training with Archie?
Not for exactly like
to
he
chewing?
luckily, like I said, he wasn't so much of a problem chewer because I guess we got to it early enough. But like
Yeah.
I know I've talked to enough dog owners that like it is a big problem. So like what is there like training that people can do to really help this?
Yep. Yep. And so like I was saying, so the first things first, you want to prevent any mistakes from happening.
Sure.
And so instead of just like putting toys out all around the house and kind of letting them do their thing, try if you have like a gated area or just in one room, put the toys around there and a puppy proof, we call it the puppy proof area. And you want to kind of keep it all right there and then kind of see what your dog enjoys chewing on. We call it like if it was food, we call it the food audition with treats, but if it's toys, we call it like the toy audition.
Yeah.
And that's your chance to get to see which one your dog really takes to as well. And you want to make sure that your dog is chewing appropriately on these toys and not, essentially, so when I mean chewing appropriately, so say they're in an area where they can get to other stuff. Some dogs, they'll go find the toy and chew on them, then go ahead and dart towards the couch to get the pillow. So that's what I mean, like redirecting your dog if you have them in that play space. If they try to go off and get some chew toy item, that would be ideal. Also, if you do catch your dog, another way of training outside of that, like just in general, if you do catch your dog chewing on something, you want to interrupt them and redirect them with what you want them to chew on. So essentially, it's really just about watching your dog, manage them, and providing them with the proper chewing stuff that they need, depending on what your dog's chewing on. And the more that you interrupt your dog when they do mistakenly chew on the wrong thing, and redirect them like, hey, you're not going to chew on this, chew on that, then they start to learn a lot better what they can chew on.
That makes a lot of sense. Just like showing them and slowly they learn. And ideally, they also like the new thing they're chewing on too, which helps out as well. And then like, oh, I can actually chew on this all I want, so might as well do that instead of keep on getting in trouble and that sort of thing too, right? So
exactly. And just so you'll know, puppy nipping is very different from chew training. Is very different. So just now we're talking about chew training. So
things.
Exactly. So if your dog's chewing on things, swap it out, get new toys in there, get the old ones, see what they like to chew on, and just make sure you're redirecting them. That's all.
Gotcha. But if they're trying to chew on your feet, then that's more nipping and that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they're nipping's like nipping on your clothes, nipping during play, nipping and stuff like that. Chewing is like they're literally, you look over and you're like, oh my God, they have my new pair of sunglasses. It sounds like I have PTSD because that actually happened one day. So so definitely there's a big difference there. Yep.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That's so I guess that's a good final point is to when it is and you know how to address it. Any other final tips before we head off?
No, just like I said, I talk a lot about management. Just means like watching your dog, making sure they're not getting into stuff. So just make sure you're really watching your dogs and make sure they're not chewing on inappropriate stuff. And also taking stuff up off the floor too. If they're chewing on things, that'll help as well too. So little stuff like that will help them not get into stuff and start to chew.
Opportunity too, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
Awesome. No, I think that's very, very helpful. That sort of gives us an idea of like what to look out for, how to manage it, like you said, and then also do some training as far as like how to really nip that in the bud to a certain degree, right? So,
absolutely.
Awesome.
So I hope everyone's learned a little bit more about chew training, how to curb your dog's chewing, and how to start the chew training. Other than that, if you have questions, you can always reach out. I'm always around. You can DM me, you can email me, however you reach out to me, I'm available. But I hope you guys enjoy this wonderful day and your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, guys. Take care.
All right, bye.